The giant alien ships appeared in Earth's sky without warning. They hovered over major cities, their dark shapes blocking out the sun. Humans looked up in fear and wonder, not knowing what to expect. Dr. Sarah Chen stood outside her lab, staring at the massive ship above New York City. Her heart raced as she thought about all the alien encounter scenarios she had studied, but nothing could have prepared her for this moment. The aliens called themselves the Zorax. They were tall, with blue skin and 4 arms. Their technology was far beyond anything humans had ever seen. When they finally spoke, their message was clear. Earth now belonged to them. World leaders tried to negotiate, but the Zorax weren't interested. They saw humans as weak creatures, not worth talking to. Instead, they attacked. The human military fought back hard. Soldiers, tanks, and fighter jets went up against the alien forces, but it was like throwing rocks at a mountain. The Zorax's weapons cut through Earth's defenses like they were made of paper. In just 3 days, most of the world's armies were defeated. The aliens laughed at how easy it had been. They mocked the humans for being so fragile and weak. "Look at these pitiful creatures," a Zorax commander said, kicking aside a fallen soldier. "They break so easily. How did they ever think they could stand against us?" As the aliens took over cities, they started rounding up humans. They were especially interested in scientists and doctors. The Zorax wanted to study these strange, weak beings. Dr. Chen tried to hide when they came for her lab. She destroyed her research and computer files, hoping to keep her work out of alien hands. But it wasn't enough. A group of Zorax soldiers burst into the lab. Their leader, Captain Krax, looked around with disgust. "This is what passes for advanced research on this planet," he sneered. "Primitive." Sarah stood her ground, even though she was terrified. "What do you want from us?" she asked. Krax laughed. "Want? We don't want anything from you weaklings. We're simply curious about how such a feeble species has survived this long." He grabbed Sarah's arm, his grip painfully tight. "You'll make an interesting test subject. Perhaps we'll learn something useful, though I doubt it." Sarah was dragged out of her lab and thrown into a transport ship with other captured scientists. As they flew towards the massive alien mothership, she looked down at her city. New York was in ruins, smoke rising from destroyed buildings. On the mothership, the human prisoners were put in cells. The aliens treated them roughly, not caring if they caused injuries. To the Zorax, humans were as fragile as glass figurines. "Be careful with that one," a Zorax scientist joked as Sarah was shoved into a cell. "Humans break if you look at them too hard." Days passed. Sarah and the others were subjected to various tests and experiments. The aliens seemed fascinated by human biology, but in a cold, detached way. They saw humans as little more than lab rats. One day, Captain Krax came to observe the experiments. He watched as a human was made to run on a treadmill until he collapsed from exhaustion. "Pathetic," Krax said. "Their endurance is a joke. How did they ever build a civilization?" Sarah, strapped to an examination table nearby, felt anger rising in her. "We're stronger than you think," she said. Krax turned to her, amused. "Oh, and what makes you say that, little human?" "We've faced challenges before," Sarah replied. "Wars, diseases, natural disasters. We always survive. We always come back stronger." The alien captain laughed. "Brave words, but I've seen no evidence of this strength you speak of. You're a species of weaklings, and soon you'll be nothing but a footnote in the history of our empire." As he walked away, Sarah felt a mix of fear and determination. The aliens thought they knew everything about humans, but she suspected there was more to her species than even she understood. What if humans had hidden strengths? What if there was something inside them, waiting to be awakened? Sarah didn't know it yet, but her time on the alien mothership would lead to a discovery that would change everything. The Zorax thought they had conquered a weak species. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Days turned into weeks on the alien mothership. Dr. Sarah Chen, and the other human prisoners were subjected to endless tests and experiments. The Zorak scientists treated them like lab rats, always pushing to see how much the humans could endure. One morning, Sarah was taken to a new lab. The room was filled with strange machines she had never seen before. A Zorak scientist named Zilax was waiting for her. "Today, we'll test your species' response to extreme conditions," Zilax said, his voice cold and clinical. Sarah was strapped to a table. Zilax activated a machine that bathed her in an eerie green light. At first, Sarah felt nothing. Then, suddenly, pain shot through her body. It felt like her skin was on fire. "Interesting," Zilax muttered, watching Sarah's reactions on a screen. "Your pain tolerance is higher than we expected." The test went on for what felt like hours. Just when Sarah thought she couldn't take any more, Zilax turned off the machine. He looked disappointed. "Still so fragile," he said. "I had hoped for more." As Zilax turned away to make notes, Sarah noticed something strange. The pain was fading much faster than it should have. She looked at her arm, where the alien light had burned her skin. To her shock, the burn marks were already healing. Sarah's mind raced. This wasn't normal. Humans didn't heal this quickly. What was happening to her? Before she could think more about it, Zilax returned. He was holding a sharp tool that looked like a scalpel. "Now, we'll test your recovery from physical injury," he said. Sarah's heart pounded. She wanted to tell Zilax about the rapid healing, but something held her back. Maybe this was an advantage the aliens didn't need to know about. Zilax made a small cut on Sarah's arm. It stung, but Sarah had been through worse in the past weeks. The alien carefully measured the wound and took samples of her blood. "We'll check on this in a few days," Zilax said. "Based on our previous tests, it should take at least a week to heal fully." Sarah was returned to her cell. That night, she couldn't sleep. She kept looking at the cut on her arm. To her amazement, it was already closing up. By morning, it was nothing more than a faint line. When Zilax came to check on her the next day, he was shocked. "Impossible," he muttered, examining Sarah's arm. "The wound is almost completely healed. How is this possible?" Sarah pretended to be just as surprised. "I don't know," she lied. "Maybe your tests did something to me." Zilax's eyes narrowed. He didn't seem to believe her. "We need to run more tests," he said. Over the next few days, Sarah was subjected to more experiments than ever before. The aliens made cuts, burns, and bruises on her body, then watched in amazement as they healed at incredible speeds. Other human prisoners were brought in for comparison. To everyone's surprise, they showed similar healing abilities, though not as strong as Sarah's. The Zorak scientists were baffled. Captain Kryax himself came to observe the tests. "How did we miss this?" he demanded. "How can these weaklings have such regenerative abilities?" Sarah, overhearing this, felt a glimmer of hope. The aliens had underestimated humans. Maybe this could be the key to fighting back. As the tests continued, Sarah noticed something else. With each injury that healed, she felt stronger. Her senses seemed sharper, her mind clearer. Whatever was happening to her body, it was more than just fast healing. One night, as Sarah lay in her cell, she made a decision. She had to find a way to escape. She needed to get back to Earth and share what she had learned. Humans weren't as weak as the Zoraks thought. There was a hidden strength inside them, waiting to be unleashed. As she drifted off to sleep, Sarah's mind was filled with possibilities. The aliens had mocked human weakness, but they had no idea what humans were truly capable of. And soon, very soon, Sarah would show them. The Zorak scientists were excited about their discovery of human regeneration. They worked day and night, trying to understand how it worked. Dr. Sarah Chen watched them carefully, looking for a chance to learn more. One day, Sarah overheard two alien scientists talking. They didn't know she could understand their language. "It's amazing," one said. "These humans have a hidden ability in their cells. It's like a switch waiting to be turned on." The other scientist nodded. Yes, but why didn't it show up before? What activated it? Sarah's mind raced. A switch in human cells. Could this be the key to unlocking humanity's true potential? That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. She thought about all the tests the aliens had done. What was different about the ones that triggered the healing? Then it hit her, the green light machine. The next day, when Zillax came to run more tests, Sarah was ready. As he prepared his equipment, she spoke up. "I have a theory about our healing," she said. Zillax looked surprised. "Oh, and what would a primitive human know about advanced biology?" Sarah ignored the insult. "Your green light machine. I think it activated something in our cells." Zillax's eyes narrowed. "Interesting. Perhaps you're not as stupid as the others." He turned to his computer, typing quickly. "Let's test your theory." Over the next few days, Sarah worked with Zillax. She was careful not to show how much she understood. But with each test, she learned more about the human regeneration ability. It turned out Sarah was right. The green light had triggered a dormant gene in human DNA. This gene could heal injuries, fight diseases, and even slow aging, but it was just the beginning. "The potential is enormous," Zillax said one day, not realizing how much Sarah understood. "If we could control this, we could create the perfect soldiers." Sarah felt a chill. The aliens wanted to use this power for themselves. She knew she had to act fast. Late one night, when the guards were changing shifts, Sarah snuck into the lab. She had memorized Zillax's password from watching him type it so many times. With shaking hands, she logged into the alien computer. The information was overwhelming. Sarah's eyes widened as she read. The human regeneration ability was more powerful than she had imagined, and there was a way to activate it fully in all humans. Quickly, Sarah downloaded the data onto a small device she had built from stolen parts. Just as she finished, she heard footsteps approaching. "Hey, what are you doing here?" It was a Zorax guard. Sarah's heart raced. But then, something strange happened. Time seemed to slow down. She could see every movement of the guard, predict where he would step next. Without thinking, Sarah moved. She dodged the guard's grasp, her body moving faster than she thought possible. She ran down the corridor, easily outpacing her pursuer. Alarms blared throughout the ship. Sarah ran, her mind clear despite the chaos. She knew every turn, every shortcut. It was like her brain had mapped the entire ship. As she ran, Sarah realized the truth. The regeneration ability wasn't just healing. It was evolving humans, making them faster, stronger, smarter. She reached the shuttle bay just as a group of guards appeared. Sarah didn't hesitate. She jumped into a small ship, her fingers flying over the controls as if she'd flown it 100 times. The shuttle shot out of the mothership, streaking towards Earth. Behind her, alien ships gave chase, but Sarah was always one step ahead, her new abilities guiding her every move. As the blue planet grew larger in her view screen, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. She had escaped, and she carried with her the key to humanity's survival. On Earth, people would soon learn the truth. Humans weren't weak. They had the potential to be more powerful than anyone, even the Zorax, had ever imagined. And Sarah was going to make sure every human on Earth got the chance to unlock that potential. The real fight was just beginning. Dr. Sarah Chin's stolen alien shuttle crashed in a field outside of Washington, D.C. She stumbled out of the wreckage, her body aching but quickly healing. In the distance, she could see the looming shape of a Zorax ship hovering over the city. Sarah knew she had to move fast. The aliens would be looking for her. She started walking towards the city, her mind racing with plans. As she walked, Sarah noticed how different everything felt. Her senses were sharper. She could hear conversations from far away, see details she never noticed before. Her body felt stronger, faster. Suddenly, she heard a noise. Sarah ducked behind a tree just as a group of human resistance fighters appeared. They were dirty and tired looking, but they moved with purpose. "Hey," Sarah called out, stepping into view. "I need your help." The fighters raised their weapons, but Sarah held up her hands. "Wait. I've escaped from the alien ship. I have information that can help us fight back." The leader of the group, a tough-looking woman named Rodriguez, lowered her gun. "Prove it," she said. Sarah took a deep breath and told them everything. About the experiments, the discovery of human regeneration, and her escape. To demonstrate, she picked up a sharp rock and cut her arm. The fighters watched in amazement as the wound healed in seconds. Rodriguez's eyes widened. "This changes everything," she said. "We need to get you to the Resistance headquarters right away." They traveled through secret tunnels under the city. Sarah was amazed at how well organized the Resistance was. People from all walks of life were working together, fighting against the alien invaders. At the headquarters, Sarah met with the Resistance leaders. Among them was Dr. James Wong, a renowned geneticist. Sarah showed him the data she had stolen from the alien ship. Dr. Wong studied the information, his excitement growing. "This is incredible," he said. "With this, we might be able to activate the regeneration ability in everyone." But there was a problem. The Resistance didn't have the advanced technology needed to replicate the Zorax's activation process. They needed to find another way. Sarah had an idea. "What if we don't need to fully activate it in everyone?" She said, "What if we could create a kind of trigger? Something that would start the process, even if slowly." Dr. Wong nodded thoughtfully. "Like a virus," he said, "but instead of making people sick, it would unlock their hidden abilities." The Resistance leaders agreed to the plan. For the next few days, Sarah worked tirelessly with Dr. Wong and his team. They used the alien data to create a special virus that would activate the dormant regeneration genes in humans. As they worked, Sarah's own abilities continued to grow. She found she could go days without sleep, her mind staying sharp and focused. Her strength increased, and her reflexes became lightning fast. Finally, after a week of non-stop work, they had a prototype ready. But they needed a way to spread it quickly, before the Zorax could stop them. Rodriguez came up with a daring plan. "We'll use their own ships against them," she said. "If we can capture one of their atmospheric processors, we can release the virus into the air. It'll spread across the entire planet in days." It was risky, but it was their best chance. Sarah volunteered to lead the mission. With her enhanced abilities, she had the best chance of success. As they prepared for the attack, Sarah looked out at the ruined city. She thought about all the humans suffering under alien rule, not knowing they had the power to fight back inside them. "We're coming," she whispered. "Hold on just a little longer." The next day, as the sun rose over the devastated Earth, Sarah and her team set out on their mission. The future of humanity rested on their shoulders. But for the first time since the invasion, there was hope. The Zorax thought they had conquered a weak species. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Humanity was about to wake up, and the real battle was just beginning. The plan to capture a Zorax atmospheric processor was dangerous, but Sarah and the Resistance team were ready. They moved through the ruins of Washington, D.C., avoiding alien patrols with Sarah's enhanced senses guiding them. As they neared the massive alien machine, Sarah felt a strange tingling in her mind. She realized she could sense the Zorax nearby, almost like a sixth sense. "Wait," she whispered to Rodriguez. "There's a group of aliens just around the corner. 6 of them." Rodriguez looked surprised but nodded. "How do you know?" "I can feel them," Sarah said. "Trust me." The team waited, and moments later, 6 Zorax soldiers walked past their hiding spot. The humans held their breath until the aliens were gone. "Incredible," Rodriguez murmured. "Your abilities are still growing." They reached the base of the atmospheric processor. It was a towering structure, pulsing with alien energy. Sarah could feel its power vibrating through her bones. "Okay," Sarah said. "I'll go in first. My healing ability will protect me if anything goes wrong." Before anyone could argue, Sarah sprinted towards the entrance. Alarms blared, but she moved faster than the eye could follow. She dodged energy blasts from security systems, her body twisting in ways that should have been impossible. Inside, Sarah fought her way through Zorak's guards. Her new strength and speed made her unstoppable. She reached the main control room and started working on the alien computers. Meanwhile, outside, the rest of the team engaged the Zorak's reinforcements. The battle was fierce, but the humans fought with a desperation born from months of oppression. In the control room, Sarah's mind raced as she deciphered the alien technology. It was complex, but somehow she understood it. She realized her enhanced brain was processing information at an incredible speed. Suddenly, a voice boomed from behind her. "Step away from the controls, human." Sarah turned to see Captain Kryax, the Zorak's leader who had tormented her on the mothership. He held a strange weapon pointed at her. "You're too late," Sarah said, her fingers flying over the alien keyboard. "We're taking back our planet." Kryax fired his weapon. Sarah dodged, the energy blast missing her by inches. She leaped at the alien, moving faster than he could react. They fought, Sarah's new strength matching the four-armed alien. Kryax was shocked by her power. "How?" he gasped as Sarah blocked another of his blows. "You were weak." Sarah grinned. "We were never weak. You just didn't know our true strength." With a final, powerful punch, Sarah knocked Kryax unconscious. She turned back to the controls, finishing her work just as Rodriguez and the team burst into the room. "It's done," Sarah said. "The processor is ours." The team cheered, but their celebration was cut short. The building shook as Zorak's ships appeared in the sky. "They're going to destroy the processor," Rodriguez shouted. Sarah's mind raced. They needed more time to release the virus. Suddenly, she had an idea. "Cover me," she said, running to a different console. Sarah's fingers flew over the controls. She was tapping into the Zorak's communication network. With her enhanced mind, she could understand their language perfectly now. She sent out a message, mimicking Kryax's voice. "All ships, stand down. The humans have activated a self-destruct sequence in the processor. If we destroy it, it will release a deadly toxin. Hold your fire and await further orders." The Zorak ships hesitated, then began to pull back. "It worked," Rodriguez said in amazement. "But how did you do that?" Sarah shook her head, equally surprised. "I'm not sure. It's like I can understand their entire language now, their whole way of thinking." With the immediate threat gone, the team quickly loaded the virus into the processor. Sarah activated it, and a fine mist began to spread into the air. As they watched the virus disperse, Sarah felt a mix of hope and apprehension. They had taken a huge risk, but it was their only chance. "Now we wait," she said, "and hope that humanity is ready to evolve." The mist spread further, carrying with it the potential to change everything. The next few days would determine the fate of the human race. 3 days after releasing the virus, changes began to appear across the globe. Reports flooded in from resistance cells worldwide. Humans were getting stronger, faster, and smarter. The virus was working. Sarah and her team watched from their hidden base as the news spread. People who had been oppressed for months were suddenly fighting back with incredible strength. Injuries that would have been fatal before now healed in days. "It's working better than we hoped," Dr. Wong said, reviewing the data. "The virus is adapting to each person's DNA, enhancing their natural abilities." Sarah nodded, but she felt uneasy. The Zoraks won't take this lying down. They'll fight back harder than ever. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the base. Rodriguez rushed in, her face grim. "The aliens have launched a full-scale attack. They're hitting every major city at once." The team sprang into action. Sarah led a group to defend Washington, D.C., while other enhanced humans protected cities around the world. As they reached the city outskirts, Sarah gasped. The sky was filled with Zorak ships, raining destruction on the buildings below. But this time, the humans were fighting back. Sarah watched in amazement as people leaped impossible distances, threw cars at alien ships, and shrugged off injuries that would have killed them before. The virus had unlocked humanity's full potential. "Let's show them what we can do," Sarah shouted, leading the charge. The battle was intense. Zorak's weapons blazed, but the humans were too quick, too strong. Sarah found herself facing a group of alien soldiers. She moved like water, dodging their attacks and striking back with incredible force. As she fought, Sarah noticed something strange. She could almost predict the aliens' moves before they made them. It was like she could sense their thoughts. Suddenly, a massive Zorak's war machine appeared, towering over the buildings. It fired a devastating beam, cutting through the city. Sarah knew they needed to take it down. She turned to her team. "Cover me." Without waiting for a response, she sprinted towards the war machine. Alien fire rained down around her, but she dodged every shot. With a mighty leap, she landed on the machine's leg and began to climb. The Zoraks inside the machine tried to shake her off, but Sarah held on. She reached the top and smashed her way into the control room. The alien pilots stared at her in shock. "This ends now," Sarah said, her voice filled with determination. She fought the pilots, her enhanced strength making short work of them. Then she turned to the controls. Just like before, she found she could understand the alien technology instinctively. Sarah's fingers flew over the controls. She reprogrammed the war machine, turning its weapons against the other Zorak ships. The aliens, caught by surprise, fell quickly to their own weapon. As the last Zorak ship crashed to the ground, a cheer went up from the humans below. Sarah emerged from the war machine, battered but victorious. Rodriguez ran up to her, grinning. "You did it. We've won." But Sarah shook her head. This was just one battle. The Zoraks will be back, and they'll be prepared for our new abilities next time. As if to prove her point, a message came through on the captured alien communications. Sarah listened, her face growing pale. "What is it?" Rodriguez asked. "It's a message from the Zorak's homeworld," Sarah said. "They're sending reinforcements, a fleet 10 times the size of the first invasion force." The celebration around them died down as the news spread. They had won this battle, but the war was far from over. Sarah looked at the determined faces around her. Humanity had evolved, becoming stronger than ever before. But would it be enough to face what was coming? She squared her shoulders, a plan already forming in her enhanced mind. "We need to prepare," she said. "It's time to take the fight to them." As the sun set over the battered city, Sarah and her team began to plan their next move. The future of Earth hung in the balance, and the final battle was yet to come. In the weeks following their victory, Earth prepared for the coming Zorak's reinforcements. Sarah led the efforts, her enhanced mind coming up with strategies no one else could have imagined. Scientists and engineers worked day and night, combining human ingenuity with captured alien technology. They built new weapons, stronger defenses, and even spaceships capable of interstellar travel. As the day of the Zorak's arrival drew near, Sarah called a meeting of world leaders and resistance commanders. "We can't just defend Earth," she said, her voice firm. "We need to take the fight to them." There were murmurs of surprise and doubt. Sarah continued, "I studied their technology, their tactics. With our new abilities, we have a chance to end this war for good." After hours of debate, the leaders agreed. Earth would launch a counterattack. The day arrived. The sky lit up as the massive Zorak's fleet entered Earth's atmosphere. But this time, humanity was ready. Sarah stood on the bridge of Earth's flagship, a fusion of human and Zorak's technology. Around her, enhanced humans operated controls with incredible speed and precision. "All ships, prepare for jump," Sarah ordered. In a flash of light, Earth's fleet disappeared, reappearing in the midst of the surprised Zorak's armada. The battle began. It was a fight unlike any in human history. Enhanced pilots flew with impossible skill, outmaneuvering alien ships. On the ground, humans with incredible strength and speed engaged Zorak's troops. Sarah's ship cut through the alien defenses. Her mind was connected to the ship's systems, processing information faster than any computer. She could sense the movements of the entire fleet, directing Earth's forces with perfect precision. But the Zoracs were not giving up easily. Their supreme commander, a massive alien named Vorlak, led a devastating counterattack. Sarah's ship rocked with a direct hit. Alarms blared as systems failed. "We need to end this now," she thought. Making a split-second decision, Sarah ordered her ship to ram the Zoracs' command vessel. As they approached, she used her newfound abilities to send a message directly into the minds of the Zoracs. "This war is over," her thoughts boomed in their alien brains. "Humanity is no longer the weak species you thought we were. We offer you one chance to retreat." The Zoracs, stunned by this unprecedented mental attack, hesitated. Sarah pressed her advantage, showing them images of Earth's victories, the power of enhanced humans, and the futility of continued war. For a moment, everything hung in the balance. Then, slowly, the Zorac ships began to retreat. As the alien fleet disappeared into deep space, cheers erupted across Earth's ships and on the planet below. They had done it. Humanity had not just survived, but triumphed. In the aftermath of the battle, Sarah stood before the United Nations. Representatives from every nation had gathered to hear her speak. "Today marks a new era for humanity," she began. "We faced extinction and instead found evolution. We discovered strength we never knew we had." She paused, looking out at the sea of faces. "But with this new power comes great responsibility. We must use our abilities wisely, not to conquer, but to explore and grow." In the years that followed, Earth changed dramatically. The unlocked potential in human DNA led to incredible advancements in technology, medicine, and space exploration. Humans began to colonize other planets, their enhanced bodies adapting easily to new environments. Sarah, hailed as the hero of the Zoracs War, led Earth's new space exploration program. As she stood on the bridge of Earth's first faster-than-light ship, she reflected on how far they had come. From nearly being conquered to becoming a spacefaring civilization in just a few short years. The aliens who had once mocked human weakness had unknowingly unleashed humanity's greatest strength, the ability to adapt and overcome. As the ship prepared for its maiden voyage, Sarah smiled. The Zoracs had wanted to make humans extinct. Instead, they had launched humanity into the stars. The universe was vast and full of unknowns, but whatever challenges lay ahead, Sarah knew one thing for certain: humanity was ready to face them.